Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings, and this is the early Christmas one because you can see there's a string of lights going around my office, and that's about the limit of my decoration because otherwise I'll be distracted. However, today I've got a number of things to whack through. I thought this is December, so it'd be a good time to look at some of the best things to buy for someone who likes pens and stationery and stuff, and owing to the fact that I am really very enthusiastic about such things, I thought I'd give you my 10 best of the year. So this is not one of them. This is a cup of tea. Cheers. And I've got to just mention, because I only got this today, I've never seen it before, Twinings number 4, and basically it's an Earl Grey, but it's got a darker, richer flavour with a bit more lemon and smokiness. And I agree, and it's absolutely delicious if you like a little bit of smokiness with your tea. Let's get on to it. First of all, let's talk about pens. Now, I've been fortunate this year with a number of pens. The first one possibly to talk about is the cheapest. It's about 12 quid, the Foudet de Manon from Sailor. Foudet because it's got that weird up-tilted nib that looks as though it's been dropped on its head and injured severely. That is just a wonderful pen for sketching, especially because when you're sketching with this you can go really quickly and you can get a variety of different sized lines with it because of that bent nib. It's wonderful to work with, really superb. If you haven't tried one yet, you should. The second pen I've got to talk about is my favourite of the year, and it's this. I was talking about it only last week on a video. It's the Opus 88 Demonstrator. I think it is magnificent. It writes like a dream. Really good steel nib. I love the fact you can see the ink sloshing around in there, and I'm now going through that process of trying to work out what will be the next perfect ink to put in here. I might well try it with some Prussian blue, or a lighter blue, maybe a Rohrer und Klingner Bleu Mer, something like that. Blue Mer, or however you pronounce it. But this is just stunning, really beautiful to look at, writes superbly, has a massive ink reservoir, which is I think roughly the same as 6 standard cartridges. So those two pens, the most expensive I've got this year and the cheapest I've got this year, those two win hands down. In terms of inks, this is always a difficult one. My favourite inks are simple. I like Prussian Blue and Israel Zeeblau. I love them both. But this year I've been sent, I've bought, someone's outside going into my shed outside. So the first of the inks is this Little Chris. It's wonderful, it's beautiful. It goes down really quite moderately dark blue, I'd say. Here we are, Little Chris. But there is a fabulous sheen to it. Now I don't know if you're going to see that in here because of the different lights I've got, but it does show up as a superb sheening ink. Now the only trouble with that is that personally I think high sheen inks are not ideal when you're in the office. I prefer an ink that is slightly less sheeny, and for that I would always stick with Prussian Blue. If you do want something that's just that little bit different, then possibly I would go with, I'm just trying to find it here, shan't take long, here we go, Diamine's Midnight, which does have some sheen, but it's a bit more subtle than the Little Chris. Little Chris, the sheening is shouting, as it were. So those are my two favourite inks, and this is the other one that I've got to mention, which is absolutely bulletproof. It's Carbon Black from Platinum, and it's not the cheapest ink, but if you're using a pen like this for sketching, it's fantastic because you put it on the page, you can put watercolour over the top, you can do anything you want to it, and that ink will not move. It's absolutely fabulous. Now you will see a lot of warnings about this, with people saying, oh, it's terrible, it'll gunk up your nib and it's very, very thick and it's horrible. I've had it in this dirt cheap Fuda for months now, and it hasn't been washed, and it still flows fine. It hasn't done any damage to the nib or the feed or anything that I can see. And from all the people I've spoken to who have used it, no one has experienced any problems. So I think possibly it's a case of manufacturers and retailers trying to protect themselves against any possible problems. But certainly if I was putting it in a more expensive pen, I would treat it with a great deal more care. But as it stands right now, that is just stunning. If you know someone who likes sketching, a not very expensive present for them would be one of those pens with one of those bottles of ink and one of those pens, because they're really not that expensive. Notebooks. Now, notebooks is a bit of a thorny subject. I would like to say that I've changed my attitude because I've been blown away by a particular model of notebook, but I haven't. There's lots of nice notebooks out there. My favourite, I think, is the Apica. I think it looks nice. I think it looks elegant with that little brand sort of Victorian logo on the front. The paper's stunningly good. It takes any sort of ink, so you can see here that there is no bleed through, shadowing or anything else. It just works superbly as paper should. So it's very, very good. Nice bendable cover, so it'll go in any pocket without any problem. But I'm afraid every day when I'm going out, I still carry my traveller's notebook. Not time traveller's, but traveller's notebook. Because it fits in every pocket just about. I've got two notebooks in here, so ideas for work and so on. It has a Ziploc wallet in it at the back. So the front of it has got business cards and the like. The back has got a Ziploc wallet, so I can keep a spare pencil and a spare bit of bungee cord for that and other things that I need. So this thing really replaces a wallet for me. It's in my pocket all the time. But I do like the Apica. It's very nice. So I've talked about the pens, I've talked about inks, I've talked about notebooks. I must now move on to the exciting seals. I've been lucky this year and have gathered several seals. This is something which has a return address on it, but it's adjustable. You can put anything you like inside there within reason. This is not adjustable. This I got just so I can mark up things leaving my office. Both enormously useful. I've also acquired an absolutely delightful wax seal, which is just gorgeous. It really is lovely to use. It's great fun. But if you're going to use wax seals, although they are good fun, very often they get sadly destroyed by the post office's machines. The Fraser-Nash machines that the Royal Mail uses really are not very friendly to things like wax. So what has actually turned out to be the most useful thing for me in terms of seals and stamps has been this, which is a very simple embossing machine. And when I send a letter out with the Pen Pals Writing Club, I put this at the top of the page, squeeze it, and it embosses my name and address and postcode and everything for the person it's going to, which is nice. So if you want to see what that actually says, you have to join the Pen Pals Writing Club. The email to write to is at the bottom here. But I do find that an enormously useful little embossing device. I love the wax seal device. I am very, very happy with the rubber stamps because they tend to get used a lot, but I think the embosser is nice. It's just really nice. And so there we go, we've covered notebooks, seals, pens, inks. So now there's a couple of other things I've got to mention. I think I said that these pens are fantastic, apart from one fact, and the fact is that when you have it in your shirt pocket and you bend over, the damn things fall out every time. This has fallen out of my pocket, must be 20 or 30 times now, which is an irritation and a bit concerning because one day I might lose it. But someone sent me this. It is wonderful. It comes, I've just knocked everything over on my desk. I'm sure you'd be glad to hear that. It's a clever device which is a pen holder for one pen from Muji. And all you do is you stick it on the inside of your pocket so that all that shows on the outside is this metal clip. But on the inside you have this circular spring. And all you do is you put your pen in it and the spring holds the pen there so it doesn't fall out of your pocket when you lean over. Simple, elegant solution that works superbly well. It hasn't fallen out of my pocket since I started using this thing. I love it. So when you buy your best friend a bottle of ink and a pen, see if you can get a little Muji pocket clip as well. Costs peanuts, but it's really effective. I mentioned my favourite pen is this. Now the trouble is, I love demonstrators because you can see what's going on inside. You can see the ink. But what I don't like is all that acreage of acrylic, which is going to get scratched, isn't it? It's bound to get scratched because I'm a clumsy devil, as you heard when I knocked everything over just then. And so it needs to be protected. It has a good spring clip on it which holds it in your shirt pocket, but if you've got one of these next to it, this might scratch this, which would be sad. But earlier this year I was given one of these. It is a pen pocket from Rickshaw and it's made of this wonderful Harris tweed. And the thing is, it holds my pen perfectly. You can't see the pen at all out of the top, can you? Look. You can see it in there. But the great thing is, not only is it the perfect size for the opus, it has this lovely microfiber fluffy stuff on the inside, so it's like a fur coat. So the pen won't get scratched. But the other lovely thing is, this is a sort of linen cotton mix shirt, only cheap from Sainsbury's. This is Harris tweed, and the two stick together really well. So I can put this in my shirt pocket and it never falls out, which is wonderful, because now I feel that it's not only safe from getting scratched, it's safe from getting mislaid. It's wonderful. So I've spoken about the Sailor Fuda pen, carbon ink and the clip. I consider them to be one item, actually. So that's one. I've spoken about the Cult Pens Little Louis and Diamine Midnight. So that's 2, 3. I've spoken about seals and stamps, 4, 5. I've spoken about the Opus 88, 6. I've spoken about the Midori and the Apica notebooks, which is 7, 8. And I've spoken about the Rickshaw pen case and the pocket clip. I can't do that, that's wrong, that makes it 9. If you're watching this, some of you must love tea, so that must be 10. Okay, I admit, the tea was a bit of a cheat, but it's still lovely. So, hope that was interesting. I might even have given you an idea. I hope so. I'm going to see if there's some more things I can talk about next week, which may be more along the lines of pencils and other pens. I have got some other pens to talk about actually, which are quite interesting. So I will be talking possibly about pens and possibly some different inks, and hopefully you'll find that interesting. Anyway, for now, thanks a lot for watching, thanks a lot for supporting the channel. If you've got any questions, put them down the bottom. If you'd like to join the Pen Pals Writing Club, I'm going to have to do a short video on that as well. But there's a link, there's an email address down the bottom which you can write to find out more information about the Pen Pals Writing Club. And apart from that, please like it, share it, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell button to be told when there's a new video coming out, and go through and see if there's anything else. And have a look at some of the back catalogue of videos, because there may be something there that'll be of interest as well. Hope that was useful, and that's all for now really. I've got to go back to work now. I've got to edit this, and then I've got to get back to book 7, which is getting much closer to the end. The Blackjack book is working nicely. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.